Alright there, it's your old mate Yorkie here, welcoming you back to the restart of Yorkie's Nightcap. Cheers. Having a strawberry, naturally and artificially flavoured soda. Shouldn't be doing, I'm diabetic, but it's about all we've got in the house until I get paid tomorrow night. So, what did you vote on? You voted on Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader it is. All I know about the game so far is 1, it will load on the computer. It's always a benefit. 2, it's by Alka, it's a CRPG. And 3, it's something to do with Warhammer 40k, which I don't know much about in itself, other than played some Blood Bowl and 1 or 2 other things that touch on it. So, Rogue Trader. Let's get a new game going. Take up the mantle of a rogue trader, the scion of an ancient dynasty of daring privateers that reign over their trade of protectorate, and explore the fringes of the known galaxy. Darkness looms over the bloodline of von Valancius as it faces multiple threats from within its own ranks and without as countless enemies seek to destroy the most daring and brave agents of humanity. It is up to you to hold the reins of the shattered protectorate and forge a new path for the von Valancius dynasty, currently finding itself in a vortex of wars, intrigues, calamities, and heresy. These stakes are high and rise even higher as you cross paths with terrifyingly powerful and ambitious adversaries. In the darkness of the Coronas expanse. My main goal for this evening, it's only run about an hour and a half to 2 hours anyway for a stream, is to set up a character. If we start the game and get a little way into it, that's brilliant. Now, we have custom, we have story, which designed for players who want a relaxed experience. Well, I could do it, it's Nightcap, but no. Daring is for level demands that players possess a solid grasp of the base game systems or extensive research in analogous tactical games or CRPGs. I've got a fair experience in some CRPGs, but I know nothing about the Warhammer 40k universe. So I'm going to start with normal, but if it's anything like other Owlcat games, you get to adjust. Right, as I say, this is all new to me. I'm going to go custom character, of course. Create your own rogue trader from scratch. The possibilities are endless when it comes to customizing your character. No, they're not. There's a set number of choices. Might be a lot, but it's not endless. Choosing their homeworld, gender and background. And you can also choose from a wide variety of abilities and skills, such as combat skills, social skills and technical skills. These abilities and skills determine how your character interacts with the world and what kind of challenges they can overcome. Finally, you can choose your character's archetype. Each archetype offers its own unique set of opportunities. So basically a class type thing, probably. Alright, sounds good. Portrait. Well, right off, none of them look remotely like me, so I'm not going to play a me. I'm going to create a character. Let's go for an ebon-skinned lady, shall we? See who we've got. Appearance. That looks relatively good. Oh. She is skin tone dark, so it's about as deep as it gets. We can zoom in. And so, no, she doesn't have eyebrows like that. What's next? You're going to give me a unibrow? All of them are kind of heavy. That looks about as close as we're going to get. She looks like she's a sturdy gal. Hair. Right, you've got long braids, or long dreads. That'll work. Oh, I can make the eyebrows different. Not quite that arched. Yeah. Tattoo. We don't see if she's got any tattoos. Let's give her a full sleeve of tribal. She can only have one. Interesting. Augmentations. I see something on her forehead. Not exactly like the picture, but it will do.
Lay in the course.
Let the macro cannons sing their deadly litany.
Not sure that sounds pious, but okay.
All hands, prepare for acceleration.
Rend the flesh, shatter the spirit. Let the bodies pile.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh, I hear that. Actually, that's from this morning. I think, yeah.
Power resides in the will of the righteous.
Right, which kind of world do we come from? On Death Worlds, the planet's beasts and sometimes even the environment itself take aggressive and destructive forms, inimical to human life. Oh, so Australia then. Whilst exceptionally difficult to colonise, many Death Worlds possess valuable resources that require an outpost or other human presence upon the planet's surface to harvest. These harsh environments result in some of the hardiest and most resilient populations in the galaxy. Those tested and found wanting die young. You get survival instinct. Once per combat, while the wounds of a Death World character drop below 30%, they gain plus 20% of the maximum wounds as a temporary wounds. Death World characters also gain plus 20% bonus to dodge and armor while they have at least one temporary wound from any source. Okay. Strength plus 5, agility. See, strength is how physically strong you are. It affects damage of a character in melee and allows them to lift heavier objects. For each bonus point of strength, characters deal 5% more damage with one-handed melee weapons. For two-handed melee weapons, this bonus doubled. Okay, it also affects athletic skill. Fine. Measures a character's quickness, reflex, and poise. High agility allows a character to manipulate delicate explosives with finesse or to keep their footing when crossing treacherous terrain. It improves character's initiative, dodge, chance, and reaction. Character uses a melee weapon, their dodge reduction is equal to half their agility. Okay. Fellowship represents a character's ability to interact with other creatures, to deceive, charm, or befriend them. High Fellowship will help a character find a way to approach a gathering of unsociable servants, or to effortlessly make deals with treacherous merchants. Affects persuasion, coercion, and commerce skills. That affects demolition. Toughness defines how easily a character can shrug off pain, as well as how easily they can resist toxins, poisonous environments, diseases, and other physical ailments. It increases the chance of resisting negative physical effects for the amount of a character's wounds. For each bonus point of toughness, characters gain plus 10% wounds. Also, a career skill, so that's drinking and so on. And then intelligence is a measurement of the character's acumen, reason, and knowledge. For each bonus point of intelligence, characters receive plus 5 more with non-burst ranged area attacks. It also affects Law Imperium, Law Warp, Law Xenos, Logic, Medicae, and Tech use skills. My thoughts at the moment are, given the voice and everything, intelligence and agility are what I'm aiming at, but I don't know. We'll see what comes up. That, therefore, misses quite highly. Voidborn. Oh, we've got willpower coming into it now. Reflects a character's ability to withstand the horrors of the warp, the terrors of space, and the dreadful opponents they are bound to encounter. In the Cronus Expanse, high willpower allows a character to exert control over a crowd or interrogate a heretic. It also increases the chances of resisting negative mental effects. Yeah, that would fit as well. So agility, intelligence, and willpower are the three I'm looking at. Voidborn are humanoids birthed in the belly of a void vessel or aboard an ancient orbital satellite. Those who have lived their lives on void ships become inured to some extent due to the reality-altering process of warp travel and to living in low or zero gravity environments. In many cases, their features are drawn and their skin pallid. They may even have minor deformities, such as a strangeness to their speech, gait, or general appearance that sets them apart from others. You get Fortune. A Voidborn character can reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry characteristic, or skill test with a 20% chance of success. Cannot be greater than the base success chance of the roll. Additionally, any enemy dodge or parry against a Voidborn character with 20% chance. That's useful, it sounds like. And it's got... oh. The following features will be available after Origin advancements. Bloody Mess. I missed what was in Deathworld, but that was missing for me. On skills. Strength, I don't mind losing. That's not one that I'm focusing on. I'm sure it's a huge negative, but at the same time, it's not what I'm focusing on. Anytime a Voidborn character scores a critical hit, there's a 10% chance to double the damage. Just a flesh wound. The Voidborn character's 20% chance to survive after suffering lethal damage, surviving with 1 wound. Be smart. Anytime a ability or talent uses the fellowship bonus, a Voidborn character can instead use the higher intelligence bonus. Sorry. Fellowship bonus can use the intelligence bonus if it's higher. Nice. Additionally, Voidborn characters can always upgrade intelligence even if their archetype doesn't allow it. Yeah, I like. Contagious Look. Using a non-damaging ability on an ally grants that ally the ability to re-roll any failed attack, dodge, parry characteristic, skill test 20% chance. Okay, so same as us. While a Voidborn character has more than 50% wounds, all chances of all creatures, including enemies, in a 3-cell radius are increased by 10%. While a Voidborn character has less than 50% wounds, all chances of... oh, I see. So it's worse for us with regard to enemies and better for us with regard to allies if we're healthy, and the opposite if we're wounded. Interesting. Intriguing. Alright, Hive World. Hive World's population is so dense that great swathes of the surface of the world are frequently covered in gargantuan cities, bejeweled with towering spires that pierce the atmosphere. Hive Worlds are vital to the welfare of the Imperium and are the beating heart of its economy and war machine. They produce munitions for the Emperor's armies in vast manufactories, mine valuable minerals, and refine fuel for the Imperial Navy. Innumerable regiments of Astra Militarium are raised from their massive populations as well. Alright. This is missing for me on intelligence, stats, because it's only boosting one of the ones I want to focus on, and it's harming one of the ones I want to focus on. And I don't see it as a hive mind, I see it as more rebellious, kind of chaotic-ish. If we go with the old Dungeons & Dragons chaotic, lawful and evil good thing. Forge World. Forge Worlds are the domain of Adeptus Mechanicus, entire planets ceded to the demands of the vast macro industries. Each is a manufacturing supercomplex of unimaginable capacity and power. Over the millennia, different Forge Worlds have become especially renowned for their philosophies or ways of war. These are often coloured by technologies they specialise in manufacturing. The bulk of a Forge World's population is utilised as a labour force, whilst a fortunate few may be inducted into the ranks of the Adeptus Mechanicus itself. I don't know that I want that, but if you can play a rebel there, it works. Toughness I don't care about. I mean, I know it's valuable, don't get me wrong, but intelligence is boosted, and I don't care about fellowships. I don't mind that being harmed. Pinnacle of Weaponry, Steel of the Forge. Yeah, I think that's missing for the background for me. It doesn't sound like it's good for a rebellion. Imperial World. An Imperial World is one of a million planets united in belief of the immortal God Emperor. Hailing from hyper-technological societies to grimy feudal populations, the inhabitants of countless worlds offer fealty and devotion to the master of humanity and the imperial creed espoused by his servants. The designation Imperial World encompasses a vast array of wholly dissimilar worlds that are nevertheless part of the Imperium. Not sounding good to me. Humanity's finest gives me what? Can select any characteristic except for weapon skill or ballistic skill from their 10 point. Yeah, no, not Imperial World then. Fortress Worlds. Oh, there's Perception as well, that'd be a good one. Fortress Worlds are planets where entire populace is immersed in warfare. They constantly train for the day that they may be called upon to defend the Imperium, a charge they solemnly uphold. Fortress Worlds are established as bulwarks against the enemy. Every citizen is a soldier, trained to fight from the moment they can handle a weapon. That could work. That could definitely work. You get +5 on Perception. How well they perceive their surroundings with high perception can pick out a stray bolter shell casing in between the day-to-day morass of an underhive, or even tell when someone is being deceitful. It also affects awareness skill and reduces enemy dodge chance against the character's attacks. Of course, we know willpower. When you get Combat Addict, Fortress World characters gain +7 to ballistic skill, perception, and willpower while in combat. Yet while out of combat, their intelligence, fellowship, perception, and willpower are decreased by 7. So if you're out of combat, your perception's not even high, it's got a -2. Familiar Kickback. At the end of their turn, Fortress World characters gain stacks of Never Stop Shooting, equal to half the minimal damage of the most damaging ranged weapon they use this round. Okay. Never Stop Believing. When all stacks of Never Stop Shooting would be lost, they become WP over 2 stacks instead. Additionally, a Fortress World character may upgrade their willpower characteristic. Okay. Each round Fortress World characters gain... Okay. I'm not going Fortress World, I'm going Voidborn. We are of the Void. Born aboard a ship. A Void vessel. We're spaceborne. Alright, now it's Origin. This is going to take a while, isn't it? The Astra Militarum Commander, absolutely not. We already know that's too lawful for me at all, entirely. No. Commissars are the officio prefectors of the officio prefectors. Are ruthless officers? No. Crime Lord? Maybe. The Imperium survives and prospers in no small part due to the narrowness of its vision, but a rebellious mind and will such as yours could not be so easily constrained. The dark path of smugglers and renegades that wind behind the facade of the Imperium society offered a dangerous refuge for those unwilling to bow to the law. You used to be one of those dangerous yet resourceful individuals. I'm down with this so far. Surefire Plan. At the start of combat, the Crime Lord gains a +8 bonus stacks of the Surefire Plan effect. Activation of this ability consumes 1 stack and makes the next action stronger depending on the type of action. If the Crime Lord attacks, they deal +10 plus perception bonus % more damage. If the Crime Lord moves, they gain % dodge and parry. If the Crime Lord uses a non-damaging ability on an enemy, that suffers a -10% bonus penalty for 1 round. We get weapon skill up, we get perception up, we get awareness up, and we get logic up. And after advancement we get plus perception, plus awareness. We have talents, we have Killing Plan. The bonus damage of Surefire Plan is increased by +2 times Whiz bonus. Killing at least 1 enemy with an attack restores 1 stack. Disorienting Plan. An enemy affected by Surefire Plan also suffers -10. Okay. So these are all attack stuff. Do not die from lethal damage. Instead they heal 5 times surefire plan stacks of maximum wounds. Lose all stacks and can no longer gain surefire plan stacks. I guess until you're healed or something. Escape plan, or maybe during that combat. The bonus to dodge and parry from surefire plan is increased by +2 times agility. This could work. This could work. Mini Storm Priest, no, I'm not down with that. I don't even need to read it, that's too lawful. Navy Officer, no. Noble. You can have a chaotic noble. The Highborn of the Imperium are an enormously privileged and powerful elite, a breed apart from the common masses they rule. You grew into adulthood upon a pedestal of affluence and grandeur that towered high above the common masses. You expected their obedience and lived upon the fruits of their toil, surrendered to your family in solemn fealty. You serve me. The noble assigns one ally who will become their servants until the end of combat. Any time a noble's abilities affect a servant, the servant gains +5 to all characteristics until the start of the noble's next turn. Anytime the servant attacks a target that the noble dealt damage to last turn, the servant gains... Okay, that's interesting. Increased intelligence, which is one of our main things. Increased fellowship, which I'm not all that worried about. We've got persuasion and coercion. Fellowship goes up again. Persuasion goes up. You do something. If a noble uses an ability on their servant, the servant gains +1 AP until next turn. Does not stack with itself. You go on. The noble servant gains +2 movement points every turn. You're next. If the servant has less than 30% maximum wounds, the noble can use "You serve me" once more in battle, designating a new servant and removing the effect from the previous one. The noble cannot designate a character who is already their servant this combat. You protect me. I like this. I'm not sure. I think Crime Lord might be more what I'm looking at though. Let's have a look at Sanctioned Psyker. Psykers are feared and distrusted, but are nonetheless valuable assets to the Imperium. The role of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica is to recruit, identify and classify those found to possess psychic abilities. The most powerful, who somehow survive the rigorous sanctioning rituals, are selected to serve on the battlefield. The mind of a sanctioned psyker is steeled against the manifold dangers risked by wielders of warp power. You are one of those found worthy to serve humanity, and have miraculously survived the perils of the warp. Note, the damaging psyker powers count as weapon attacks, counting toward the normal attack limit per turn, and gaining all the benefits of abilities and talents, increasing the damage of attacks. For example, a soldier using run and gun ability will be able to use damaging psyker powers twice per turn, and an operative's analyze enemies ability affects the damage. Okay. Features: Sanctioned Psyker. Sanctioned Psykers have a reduced chance to trigger psychic phenomenon. This character is a Psyker, albeit quite a weak one. Get plus willpower and toughness, not my focus. Or willpower could be. Carouse, Law, Warp. Might fit in with a void chip thing. Abilities, wow. Manipulating flesh and biomancers can heal wounds and alter. So basically this is a priest mage, I thought so. You know what, I'm going to go Crime Lord. Alright, Triumph. Apex of Brilliance. You managed to corrupt an entire star system and turn it into your personal den of thieves. Oh, I like it. You stripped an ecclesiarchy cardinal of a priceless treasure that had been kept in one of the most secure sanctums of the Adeptus Mystorium. That's kind of the rebel thing. I mean, it looks like these are all for Crime Lord. Feat of Greatness. You prevailed in a bloody shadow war against the void pirates of your sector. Now, I'm going to go for Illustrious Glory. Mind-wise or character-wise, I think I like the storyline of that. Grim Portents, Darkest Hour. An inauspicious deal with the wrong people resulted in the rise of chaos cults and the horrific massacre of innocents. -5 on persuasion. Shadow Torment. You were arrested and thoroughly interrogated using creative and violent methods. Carouse is down. So poisons, stimulators, alcohol. Or Brand of Shame. You turned your partners into the authorities and became known as a traitor. Commerce down. I'm going to go Shadow of Torment. Add to the reason that I'm a rebel. Add to the reason that I'm angry. Add to the reason that I may not have mercy on people. Alright, archetypes. Choose archetype to see description. You can only choose one of the first tier archetypes at this moment. Archetypes are development paths that your characters follow. Each archetype encapsulated a unique set of skills and expertise. And represents a specific combat specialization. From the frontline warrior to the indispensable leader, preferring to command from the rear. Choose who you want to be in the grim dark future of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. So there's warriors, combatants, boasting, exceptional. I'm not going strength though, am I? So that's not it. Officers use their willpower and fellowship. I don't have good fellowship. To improve the combat capabilities of their allies, turning them into even greater threats on the battlefield. I wouldn't be an officer anyway, it's too lawful. An operative uses intelligence and perception to find and exploit weaknesses in an enemy's defences. None can withstand an attack from an operative. Precise single attacks, defence penetration, area debuffs, consistent firing position. Bounty Hunter, Grand Strategist, Assassin. Oh, I like the idea of Assassin. I don't know what it'll do for me, but can't even look at it right now. Soldier, no. Alright, we're becoming an operative. Characteristics. Alright. And those are the skills. Our strength is down, which is, yeah, expected. And I want intelligence to be high. Oh, I can't go up with that. Okay. Can't go any lower than that. I can't drop them. Interesting. So I've got 40 weapon skill, 30 ballistics, 25 strength, 30 toughness, 30 agility, 45 intelligence, 40 perception, 45 willpower, and 30 fellowship. So basically with intelligence and willpower. Void ship. Alright. And we get to have a different one if we want it, do we? Oh, this is giving the name. So we get a Void class frigate. Sword class frigate. The Sword class frigate is a classic Void ship design proven in thousands of battles, combining decent firepower, high speed, and respectable maneuverability. Estimated dimensions 1.6 kilometers in length. 0.3 kilometers of beam at the fins, approximately. Estimated tonnage 6 megatons approx. Estimated number of souls 26,000 approx. The Von Valencius flagship is the mightiest void ship belonging to the Von Valencius dynasty. Every system aboard this frigate every system aboard this frigate has been tried and tested in innumerable engagements. Its weapons and turrets deliver hard-hitting volleys and pinpoint accuracy. Its plasma drives are rugged yet reliable in extreme conditions. The flagship's size and maneuverability are perfect for pursuing smaller, faster raiders and for hunting the countless pirate Xenos and heretics in the Cronus Empire. Numerous von Valencia's rogue traders have acknowledged the exceptional performance of this vessel, and with a few minor updates, the flagship has continued to faithfully serve on Van Valencia's dynasty. Can I not? Oh, edit. I was going to say. What shall I name it? How about the Ebon Hawk? No. No. I think that one might already be used by another game. The Unholy Terror. That'll work. Result. And we're not using the name Rogue Trader. Annie Reed. Combining two of my favourite pirate names, Anne Bonny and Mary Reed, with changes to it. And we can go in and start the game. I could have gone on longer, but I don't want to hold you up for the full 2 hours. Should I have called it 2 hours? Should I TikTok, eh? Should I have called it 2 hours after you? The Terror Wower. Do not try licking my face, I don't like that. Alright, press any key. And don't lick my sodding can that I'm drinking from either. I've seen what else you lick with that tongue.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
All this ostentatious luxury, its lap and pretense, is enough to make one think the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify. Have we met? You have a particular reason for disturbing me?
My apologies. I did not seek you out to pester you with unwanted attention.
Go on.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers. in the employ of her ladyship rogue trader Theodora von Valencius. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Oh, his stub's meant to be my last name. Oops. My name is Angelina Reed.
My regards, mistress. Or should I say, von Valencius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you. Understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generations separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of a ladyship's servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty.
Very curious title. Not worried, not getting into the thing with the title, I don't care. You have a curious title, Master of Whispers, what are your responsibilities? That is leading, so that might be an interesting one to pursue. Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here? That would be her immediate concern, I think. Tell me about the one on whose ship I found myself. No, not right now. Ascertain where you are first. You say I'm one of the rogue traders' heirs, so there is another candidate. I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let's address it. No. Why am I here?
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor.
Have I now?
Your former position may have been different from conventional service as part of one of the institutions of the Imperium. But from now on, a different fate awaits you. One chosen for you by the Lord Captain.
Am I?
I advise you to
right?
come to terms with this reality as quickly as possible.
Tell me about yourself, Master of Whisperers. What do you do?
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valencius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
One to watch, but could be useful. I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to bring me here.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure
Abductor.
she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
You can hover your cursor over highlighted words to learn more about them. So... oh, not there. Alright. End of dialogue. Rogue Trader Theodora van Valencius desires to personally meet with the person. Like the right blood follow the... Don't take things away before I've read them, you damn fool. Camera controls, WASD.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Some objects in the game can be interacted with in a special way. They're marked with specific icons. Some yellow icons allow you to... some icons allow you to study... Yellow? Where did I get that from? To study objects. Others will transfer the character to neighbouring locations or launch a small event. These icons become visible when the character is standing close enough to interact. Click the left mouse button to perform an associated action. Hold tab to highlight. Let's have a look here. The sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has been tripled. Okay. Incomprehensible information is displayed on a large screen above the cogitators. Don't take it away. You can make out references to unfamiliar systems and worlds among the numbers and logistica symbols. Okay, he's whining all the time. And that's also incomprehensible. Fine. Can't say anything to him. Lay people interfering in the operation of the sacred mechanisms disturbs the machines. Does it indeed? There's a crew officer there. I heard the Seneschal give this senior officers another public dressing down recently. I don't know what it was for this time. Wersarian could latch onto any slip up as an excuse to give someone an earful.
Let us walk this path to the end.
I heard the Seneschal. I've already looked at that. Have you heard? Apparently the lower decks have a big influx of new blood after the last on-world resupply, with some pestilence spreading throughout the crew. Okay. A whiner. Probably nothing there. Lay people interfering? Yep, same thing. Dark Enforcer. See you raise your head again, I'll hand you over to the tech priest. Crew member, okay. Carry on forward.
By the blood of martyrs.
These are just essentially nobodies, I guess. What's this though? Some kind of altar. A candlelit altar with a copy of 2348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium.
The Divine watches over us.
Can't do anything there. So we're going up here.
One of the Fon Valencia's trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
Maybe. Right now I want to know why I've been abducted and brought here. What is this nonsense?
What's happening? Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
Oh dear. Well, this didn't work out well for you all, did it?
May the blessings of the Divine grant us the courage and strength!
You've been ambushed. The battle begins. Surviving grim darkness of our future, you'll have to face enemies of all kinds and fight for your life. These hints and tutorials will familiarise yourself with the combat system of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. Click on the button. Right, complete. So we've got to start the battle. It's turn-based. He's dead. They're dead. That's Conrad having an attack. Movement in combat. All battles in the game are turn-based and take place on a grid. On their turn, a character can move, attack, and use other abilities. Select a cell within the highlighted area and double-click to move. Movement points to determine how far a character can move on their turn. One MP corresponds to one cell on the battlefield. Moving diagonally is more costly. The second diagonal cell costs, so it's about 1.5 each. Okay. At the beginning of each turn, movement points are restored to their maximum value. Note that once a character starts moving, this action can no longer be cancelled. Analyze enemies cost 1 action point. How many action points do I have? I have 4 action points. That's analyzed enemies. You ready for your turn? Okay. And can I fire from here? Seems like I can.
And so shall it be done. I will not be deterred.
Don't need to get forward, it'll have a better chance to hit me and kill me. You're dead.
Actions will speak louder than words.
Get behind him. Oh, I can't move first. Okay, got it. You're dead.
The Emperor commands.
That was a miss. That's not good. To increase hit chance, equip your character with a decent weapon. A character with melee weapons block adjacent enemies' ability. Alright, he's down.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Without taking his eyes off the bodies on the floor, Vladimir removes the Voxcaster from his belt and speaks a few quick orders into the device, then he turns to you. Characters with melee weapons block adjacent enemies' ability to perform attacks with ranged weapons. Pistols and shotguns are an exception to this rule. Those can be fired at point blank range. I got you. Talk to Theodora. Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the premises. Stations.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
The lines on Blackbeard's forehead soften, and his voice regains its usual courtesy. The Master of Whispers gives you a curt bow. Right, well, he's leaving. You can use the map with M, alright. Apparently I can't interact with the bodies. Tarantula sentry gun constructed with the blessing of Adeptus Mechanicus. Okay. Why is the servitor's head are still smouldering? It would seem the cause of the malfunction was short-circuiting. Was it now? I'm not convinced. Lehman Russ's battle tank, reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification. Okay.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Oh, shut up. A vital alloy which, upon closer examination, turns out to be a handcrafted object. Symbols carved with primitive tool are visible on the surface. I can't steal it
We
also.
shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern strange, barely perceptible glow inside the artifact. A massive golden amalgam in space with sparkling particles. The stone on the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes. Change hue, as if someone had captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. A strange object that resembles sea coral. The porous surface is pitted. A sign that it has been underwater.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Grey-green crystal with white veins, a low hum can be heard coming from the artifact. over here. The exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House von Valencia's valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. Crew member is hard at work. Okay, so they're essentially nobodies, or general background NPCs, I should say, more likely. Let's have a look over there. The Grand Void Ship Temple occupies the entire space below the officer's deck, lit by countless candles and lumens. Alright, so there's that, and then there's down here.
Know your duty!
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Says a man, dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension. His face, half of which is covered in sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
The tall grey-haired woman paints him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Let's survey the room, check the surroundings out. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin, stretched over a tight bundled mass of sinew, implants and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valencia's features appeared as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them you see two more men. One is a grey-haired officer of impeccable bearing, who is studying the contents of the data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks, containing all manner of weapons.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer.
The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader is looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive.
Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
Say passive skill tests. Your character's skills reflect their knowledge and capabilities. Some dialogues automatically initiate passive skill tests. If such a test succeeds, new information will be revealed, or hidden dialogue option will unlock. If your character is travelling with allies, the party member with the highest score in the applicable skill is selected for each given passive skill test. Alright. Lord Xenos succeeded. Those spirits could well be the native's name for dangerous aliens. I would first verify if that is indeed the case, and if population of Ion 6 engaged in Xeno worship. Oh, there are ways to confirm whether what is happening on Ion 6 is witchcraft or not. Might cost several psychers to do so, but it will give us the answer. Oh, that sounds cynical enough for me.
Thorough, but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one psyker who could serve me well for many years. Yet you speak of several.
Sanctioned psychers are rare and valuable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you suggest that we use heretics, who are an offense to the God Emperor's light? It would be rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants.
Edelfrad looks at you with warmth of a snake. See, I gave you a straight answer to a simple question, which I understand was still more than you could do, Edelfrad. We are both servants of the God Emperor. I'm not going to say that. I find your tone most disagreeable, Edelfrad. You will kindly alter the manner in which you address me, or else shall live to regret the consequences. Shut your mouth, Edelfrad. At least I'd chilly, but you know. Yes. Great answer.
Insolent, ignorant upstart. How dare you?
The colour drains from Edelfrad's face, which distorts his features further.
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
Theodora's tone rendered him silent.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
Edelfrad bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look. That's fine, I don't want to look at your ugly face anyway.
So, why are you here?
Theodora's gaze follows him as he leaves, then she turns to you. I don't know just yet. I hope you'll clarify it.
Clarity. A luxury that few of us can afford. There is a reason why I did not explain all the details of the question I posed to you earlier. Beyond the borders of the Imperium, seldom is one granted an opportunity to enjoy information in abundance. This, however, is one such opportunity.
Theodora smiles wryly.
My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all.
Be a decent ship if we can take over it then, wouldn't it? So you're a subject of the Imperium with a unique hereditary title. A rogue trader is tasked with exploring and exploiting the still uncharted regions of the galaxy for the benefit of mankind. The God Emperor, the guide, the ruler, and the higher power to which humanity offers their prayers and aid, and for aid and deliverance. Most would be driven mad with despair if they knew the truth. Warrant of trade, the sacred relic document that affirms the preeminent rights of a rogue trader throughout the galaxy. So basically, it sounds like we've got a privateer, the national leader, who puts himself as a god, or herself, and the letter of marque.
It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
You can see how similar we are, maybe not in the body, but possibly in the spirit. One of us. Does that mean there are other heirs?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate.
Edelthrad is an idiot, and you know it.
Bloodright alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
Theodora sighs and looks at you pensively for a brief moment. I hear you correctly. The Master Whispers is related to you.
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voitvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
Thank you for clarifying. I'm not going to ask that because I'm staying in character. As far as I'm concerned, Angelina Reed, Ethelred's an idiot. She knows he's an idiot, she's just using him. But I don't need to ask that, it's obvious. Nothing's too sudden for me. I don't believe this purpose is sacred, and I'm not saying I'm ready to take it. But thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now?
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
The Vox picks up Theodora's attire. Suddenly comes to life, but all you can hear is unintelligible noise. Theodora winces, shuts off the transmission, and gives you an imperious nod. An instant took place. Hold up for now. Gracious Lord Captain. No, I'm not going to ingratiate myself like that. Where is your ship headed?
The Rycad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor.
Perhaps I'll do it for me.
I set the course for Rycad on the demand for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
Theodora grimaces. She gives you a stern look and shrugs. I'll tell her an incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew.
Is that so?
Yes.
Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
I'll grow up, she was joking. The grey-haired officer gives the rogue trader a look of cautious disapproval.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
She turns to you. See, cogitators. Any type of digital computer in the Imperium of Man. What are my current responsibilities that you wish to assign me, at least?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
Tell me about the navigator in translation.
Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars.
Theodora shakes her head.
Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Geller field, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead. Sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars.
I have no more questions.
In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
Theodora's box awakens once more. This time you pick up shouting. Lord Captain freezes, listening to the Voxcast, then nods and draws a weapon. She glances at you. It seems we are under attack.
My soul is ablaze with righteous fury! Ah!
All combatants act in turns and their order is determined by an initiative roll. The order of turns is displayed on the left side of the screen from the bottom to the top. The character at the bottom goes first, and the one at the bottom, and so on. Am I controlling all of them? No. I'll start the battle.
One fewer target. My faith strengthens me. Death to the heretics!
Damn.
Chaos guides me. I serve the ruinous powers.
Yeah, you're gonna be dead in a minute.
Out of my way.
Use cover to avoid enemy attacks. Cover that a character can hide behind, marked with a shield or a shield with a skull. When standing close to them, the character will automatically take up advantageous position. In this case, the chance that the enemy attacks will hit. Alright.
Rejoice in service.
You're down.
I will not be deterred.
Critical hits explained there.
Crush the feeble.
Death to non-believers. Just a minor setback. Death to the weak.
There's a small chance we might lose him.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
I took care of this one. Die!
Your character has received a temporary positive effect from an ally. Such effect. Okay. What we got? Surefire plan and kill them. We can be seen, but that's okay.
And so shall it be done.
Oh well. Missed anyway.
For now.
You're done.
My place is at the fore.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive.
Theodora waves a hand in a commanding gesture.
Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
The road trader turns her eyes to you. She looks at the box in her hand. All you can hear is lifeless static. What's happening?
From what we have seen, I can speculate that we are dealing with some variety of madness induced by warp travel. Such episodes are not uncommon among voidsmen who have found themselves outside the boundaries of real space, though such episodes seldom spill onto other decks.
Oh, the casters are not working, or have been sabotaged. Either the warp is toying with us, or someone went to great lengths to cut the ship's communications. I will need a direct channel to the engine seer prime before I can get a sense of what we are up against. Whatever it may be, keep your weapons at the ready. I imagine it will be some time before we no longer need them.
Engine seer, a tech priest whose specialization is the maintenance and repair of sacred machines. How could there be armed people in the ranks of the crew who would dare attack the Lord Captain? I'm not surprised by it. The incident on the of the rampaging servitors may be connected to what is transpiring now.
Possibly. Quite likely. We will investigate at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation.
Well, Theodora winces and flicks a switch on her box a few times. Well, I seem to need to follow her for now, so what are your orders?
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the arch-militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
She breaks eye contact with you.
I
Right.
can't allow myself to do this. We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
We're going this way? We might be going down there, but I think we're here. No, we're not. It's just a throne room or something. Ah, up here maybe.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Come on, what here? Let's have a sigh of relief upon seeing you.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, hold yourself together.
Conrad pointedly looks away from Arch-Militant to you.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Arch-Militant looks back at you. Mort pulls his box from his belt and hurriedly reports on the situation.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
I don't blame you for being pissed off, to be honest. Warp, an alternate dimension of pure energy and madness existing as a mirror to real space, also known as the Materium, or the Imperium, the Aether, the Sea of Souls, or warp space.
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officers' deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Probably it pauses. It's a mutiny, but who would attempt it? I mean, there's always someone stupid enough. A mutiny against the Emperor's Anointed? Excuse, I'm not bound to them, I'm not thinking that way. Must provide immediate assistance to those who are still in the middle decks. Perhaps then we might stop this wave from spreading. Yes, work together, strength.
First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once.
An expression changes and her eyes flash ominously.
Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
Theodore looks up for you.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18.
Was he part of this, I wonder?
Blast it!
Attempt to use
her
power.
Find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant with me.
Oh, it's been replaced,
I must
maybe?
go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
Theodora glanced at you thoughtfully.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers.
But Via's voice is soft and cautious.
Then it's settled. Find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
I cannot promise I won't lose our dearest heir somewhere along the way.
Kunrad, keep an eye on our spirited guest. You are personally responsible. Mort!
Theodora shakes her head. Shall we go then?
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
But Via gives you a nod. You better not fail me. The Lord Captain made it clear that relying on you is fraught with risk.
I see you have quickly earned Lady Theodora's trust. If she is already sharing her closely guarded secrets with you. But that is no longer relevant.
Meaning? He pales at you, Ed, but you cannot tell if it's because of shame or fury. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen. You're consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. Ooh. He's a traitor. Promise you a special destiny, Angeline Reed. It's time to fulfill it. Well, that was a start, wasn't it? Ow.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. She has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warren Chamber, and for that, I need her breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
What Ray looks down at you. That way, you two-faced scum. You're the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
I'm not sure I want to join him, to be honest. But, I mean, she kind of had me kidnapped and brought here anyway, it seems to me. I have no allegiance to her either. I'm not going to beg. But that sounds risky. Why are you doing this?
Why? Because I am following an order. What is happening on this ship right now has been in the making for a very long time. All that remains is to obtain what my master sent me for. The Warrant of Trade.
What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry, pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy? You sordid, wretched piece of grok shit.
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's curve. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind.
Something, either your tone or the venomous words, throws Kunrad off for a moment, as hateful fury blazes away beneath the mask of cold professional.
Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench Fon Valencius watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
Bobby hesitates for a second, then produces a strange weapon, a blade without a handle that shimmers blue in the light. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Get out, I'm not your puppet. The voice in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence. You're wounded by the corrupted weapon which led to a warp entity by invading your mind, forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step toward the gate looming in the centre of the chamber. Skill testing dialogues. One of the valuable skill options. One of the available dialogue options requires making a skill test. Unlike with passive tests, which are made automatically, in this case you can decide. Okay. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into it, into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is Servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The Sentinel turns its head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. Mindless cybernetic drones created from a fusion of human flesh and robotic technology used to carry out simple manual tasks. Tech use 45. Chance 100%. So examine the device. You carefully inspect the design of the gate's cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is a strange alloy that was used as a material from the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be a kind of archaeotech relic. An incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. Why is it we always think the ancient past have all these powerful devices? The servitor out the gate begins to move. With a screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward close to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Whitebeard wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source called itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Let's examine the Sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Look back.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
Look for anything that could be used as a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in the perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or a protruding piece of rebar in sight. Then I have no option, it seems. Put my hand in the maw. The Sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall on the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass, the Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Who is this?
Genetic code identified. Child of House von Valancius. Do you require assistance?
You hear the voice again, and this time you realise that it's coming from two speakers built into the Sentinel's shoulders. You hear the displeased grunts in your mind as if the lurking entity has sent something that is not to its liking. Not assuming I've lost my mind, no reason to assume that, or that it's warp madness. Yes, I do require assistance. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It seems the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Well, there is still another way.
Check the warrant chamber. Let it be known that by my will, by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade, and bestow upon them their dynasty. To be the paragon of humanity unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely into the darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the roads of thorns, through pain, etc. Clear's a little bit fast for my liking.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
The servo skull's creaking gradually turns into incomprehensible words. I need a weapon, I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent. Its relays clicking. Second after second passes and you realise the servo skull will not answer you. I suppose right now I want to work with Theodora. Later? I don't know. Besides, perhaps I can parley this assistance into a raise in stature. I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Voxmaster, restore communication with the navigator sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
In a place of mechanical screeching, the servo skull's Vox projects. That projects the voice of Theodora von Valentius, distorted and written with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt.
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
I don't really want to do that, but that's not how I'm thinking. What is happening here? Who are you? Who is addressing me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
Right, lead me from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Journal. As the game story unfolds, you'll see notifications at the top of the screen indicating the status of your current objective has been updated and that new information has been added to your journal. You can open the journal by pressing J or clicking LMB on the notification at the top of the top right screen, etc. Journal entries help keep you track of events. The quest tab tracks the progress of the main story. Here you can find information about any quests you have accepted. Remember, the contracts also contain important information. Okay. Other than reading that again, which I don't see the point in doing, it seems it's time to leave. Daunted by enemies of humanity, but not one of them can prevail over truth. Okay. Right, where exactly are we going? Oops. Over here, maybe?
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Yeah, we can't go that way. Doesn't look like there's any reason to, though. Where am I going? Ah. Let's have a look at that. Still read up from gunfire, the engines of the death throes say, okay.
The divine watches over us.
There's nothing there. Oh, okay, I need to tell this thing to seal it.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Where is it? Oh, it's a sentinel, isn't it? What's that first? Enormous gates matching points of the thing they protect. Okay.
Mistress? What? Whatever are you doing in the Warren Chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me. What is the meaning of this?
Seneschal Abelard Wersinian has lost some of his former polish. His forehead is sweating, and one of the sleeves of his coat is torn and soaked through with blood. Nonetheless, despite the heavy breathing, he stands firm, and his gaze is demanding, albeit somewhat surprised. He surveys the carnage around him, his brow furrows, and he places a hand on the weapon. Conrad Vatvier is the traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here. How did you find me? Are you with that traitor Vatvier?
Mistress, with all due respect, what nonsense are you saying? Conrad? A traitor?
Abelard stares at you as if a toad jumped out of your mouth. So it would seem, but he's not here and we have a mutiny to end.
Indeed. Indeed. That is easier said than done, of course. But seeing one of Lady Theodora's heirs alive inspires at least some degree of optimism.
Abelard frowns.
You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
He hands you a weapon. Item received sniper rifle. Armored body glove. And a medikit. While fighting, your character can lose some of their wounds. Your character has suffered an injury after being attacked by Conrad. This happens when a character receives damage that exceeds 50% of their maximum wounds within one round. The exact percentage of wounds a character must lose for this to happen may vary depending on the difficulty of the game it chose. Injuries reduce a character's resolve. When a character initially suffers an injury, it's considered a fresh injury during the first 3 rounds. Once 3 rounds have passed, a fresh injury becomes an old injury. A fresh injury can be healed using Medikit without passing any skill tests. All injuries can be healed with a Medikit, but they require the character administering the treatment to pass the Medikit skill test. Use Medikits to restore wounds and heal injuries. Note that when a character loses all of their wounds, they fall unconscious. Once combat is over, the wound of all party members are replenished automatically, but the injuries they may have sustained remain. These can be healed with a Medikit. Medikits can only be used by characters with a field medic feature, base skill, Medikit, or have taken Medikit skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a Medikit in battle, a Medikit skill test determines the number of wounds that will be restored. Abelard can heal your character's injury. Click LMB on Abelard's portrait, select the Medikit on the panel, then use it on your character. It needs to be standing right next to me. You've got new items. All items are added to your inventory. You can open it by pressing I or clicking on the bag icon. Well, firstly...
We are the spearhead of the Imperium. Let me help.
Your aid will not be forgotten. No suffering will make me forget his sacred words. Burn the heretic. Kill the mutant. Purge the unclean.
Right, let's have a look here. So equip weapons and armor. Okay, yeah, this is probably standard.
At your service.
I still want you to try and heal me.
Let's patch you up.
With you at my side, victory is within our grasp.
Alright. So I can't get rid of that wound right now.
Heresy
Oh, we're both in
grows
a party
from
together.
idleness.
So what are we doing?
Look no further.
The Emperor protects.
Come on.
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
For the Emperor.
I am at your service.
Right.
Let me help.
Oh, it worked
That
this
is a
time. I wasn't
noticeable
close enough.
improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics, instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
He pauses when the light flickers yet again. What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, navigator. However, I have spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Geller field has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak.
Maybe.
If we get thrown off course,
Maybe it's a
we will
mutiny
be
or so.
forever lost in the war. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How do you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Voxcast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent a message. Appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort.
It looks at the servo skull floating next to you.
The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
It could be that she's not who she says she is. What can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed
could be that it
to
protects
all
an air.
who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterium. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Abelard does not bat an eye as he lists all the horrors that you are about to face. I heard one of Theodora's Voxcasts.
Lady Theodora's.
Theodora.
Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well and safely in charge of the ship's defense.
Maybe.
In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
The Navigator's Sanctum, very well, lead the way.
Absolutely. Let us proceed.
To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God
A wave of static suddenly erupts on the servo skull, and you make out Theodora's words through the noise.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward.
The seneschal's eyes light up, and he smiles with grim determination.
Don't you dare to cross us!
You'll make a suitable sacrifice!
Combat begins with a tactical phase, during which characters cannot attack or take other actions, but may try to take up advantageous positions. Select a character by pressing LMB, then select LMB on the cell you want to move the character to. Red cells are areas inaccessible to the character. During the tactical phase, each character in the party may move to a maximum movement point, but cannot position themselves adjacent to an enemy. There's not really much to hide behind, is there? You there? Me there.
Chaos guides me.
Make the move for it.
I serve the ruinous powers.
The combat abilities of characters differ depending upon their archetypes. Available abilities are located in the bottom right of the screen, the abilities panel. To read the full description of the ability, hover your cursor above it. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Deadeye shots 12 to 16, or oh. Yes, I can still.
Rejoice in service.
Not the one I was aiming for, but never mind.
Actions will speak louder than words.
Out of my way.
I serve the ruinous powers.
Your new companion is a warrior. Abelard specializes in melee combat and drawing the enemy's attacks. Charge is a unique warrior ability that works only when they are using a melee weapon and is not considered an attack action. Use charge to close the distance between you and the enemy and deal damage. Click LMB on the ability. Okay. Note that charge can only be used with characters 2 or more cells away from the target. Right. Which we certainly are.
Victory is imminent. Once you a target.
Characters with melee weapons can make an attack of opportunity, fine.
Indeed.
That's parried.
Death to non-believers.
Hey, you got your own person there, you
To the
fool.
weak.
The Emperor commands. Your corrupt way has failed you.
Chaos guides me.
Reduced to dust.
There you go.
See my great work, masters!
Let this be the warning to all who oppose us.
You can advance the next level of your character and companions. prevailing in battles, exploring the Kronos expanse, and completing quests and your experience points. Once you've accumulated enough experience, your character gains a new level. Each level opens. Okay, let's go to it. Let's get some promotions on. I think logic is what I'm suited to here. So we've applied that. Don't think I get anything else there. So it's you, isn't it? That's next. And your next is choose a skill. We'll give you some athletics. I don't see you as a boozer.
Know your duty.
Well, with a fight on board, a chance possibly to take over myself, I'm going to quit there for the night. Looking forward to the next episode of this. It's looking like it's going to be another strong Owlcat game.